if you're a Surety Pro user, you will not see that. You will see your low company, maybe location, client farm field, and year in this area here. But everything else will look fairly similar. We'll start with some of the layers. Just quickly go over some of the layers available. So as we zoom in to an area of interest, you will see the yellow lines. For those that have used this system for a while, you're familiar with those yellow lines. For those new to Surety, those yellow lines represent FSA fields from May of 2008. You can use those fields, of course, for selecting and creating maps and forms from those. You can also edit them and change them to use them for your field descriptions. We won't go through drawing editing at this point because that is part of our Surety Basics webinar, and you can view that on our YouTube page. But we'll move on. We'll look at the Ortho Photo. The Ortho Photo is the background image that you see. You can change the image. You can change the image date depending on what state you're in. In this case, we're in the state of North Dakota. And you'll see that we have quite a few dates available. Certain states may only have up to 2015 that they weren't updated last year. And of course, as new dates come into play, we will make sure we keep those up to date. One thing you can do is you can see the photo dates. So if you're interested in the date of the photo behind your map, you just select photo dates under Ortho Photo, and it'll show you the date that photo was taken. You just click them to turn them off. Next one important to aerial applicators is the Faa obstructions. When you turn it on, you'll see a dialog box. Always please read and be aware of some of the limitations. But as we zoom out, I think I have my obstruction color blue. You can change the color of your obstructions. You can go by just clicking on Faa obstructions. You can change the color. I believe you can also put a label if you wish. But you can change the color. You can show pins, things of that nature. What do we mean by pins? Let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see the map gets very busy. So you can see in certain areas, you'll see the obstruction. Now, to view what the obstruction is, zoom in on it, use the select button, and place an X on top of the feature. And over in your layers, your forms and maps, select Faa obstructions. If you do not see this, go to your favorites and under Aerial Applicators, maybe under Environment. Under Environmental, you'll see Faa obstructions. You would just need to click that on here and then hit Save, and it will show up in your favorites. But once you have your feature selected, please select Faa obstructions, edit Faa obstructions, and once you hit edit Faa obstructions, that'll give you the information for that particular obstruction. Next, we'll talk about we'll look at we'll look at crop history. If it's crop history, it may be one that's important to what you want to do. Crop history layer is available several ways. As a general layer on the map, you can pull it up. See, it covers the map. Let's turn the background image off here to get a better view. So there's the color coding for different crops. If you need to see a legend right next to the crop history, there's a legend that you can bring up. You can also see different years. So I just select them and you can see different years. If you want to see crop history on a particular field, you don't need to select crop history here. You could zoom in. In this case, I'll just select a border from FSA maps, and I will hit crop history. And I'll give you the crop history for the previous 4 years with legends. And then you can print this or save this as a PDF. Points of reference, what we mean points of reference are all the field, our boundaries for roads and other types of information. So you can control those. Those are under other. As you see, we have our major roads. Let me find one here. We have our minor roads, which are red. We have township and range, and we have sections. Here are sections, and we can remove the township and range. We also have township names, which you can turn on. It puts the name for the township. We also have quarter sections and quarter sections. Those are not an official layer, but an estimate based on dividing the quarter or quarter section into fourths. If you turn those on, those will print on the map if need be. One other one may be of value to you now is wetlands. We've added the wetlands layer into the system. You just click here to turn them on. You can see the individual wetlands here. You can create a wetland map of an individual wetland form of an individual field if need be. Let's select this right here. And let's go and create a wetland map. Again, that's under your favorites, environmental, and it will give you a wetland map and the information there. That may be of importance to you or not, but it's there for you to use. Next, we'll move on to sensitive areas and drift watch. You can create sensitive areas within the system. You can view those sensitive areas if they were created company-wide within Surety. Let me see here. We'll just look at all sensitive areas here. And they weren't set, so okay. So they may not, there's one right there. So there's one we created. It's marked as Bs. So if I would select this field here, for some reason, since I'll turn it back on here. So you control the sensitive area here. You can set color. You can set labels there. Now if I had this field and I decided to create an FSA map from it, those sensitive areas would show up then on that map. So if you start recording those sensitive areas, those are things, sensitive areas layer is a layer that you create. As you see areas that are sensitive, maybe areas where there's beehives or organics or whatever, you can create, either draw the area, mark the area out, select the area, and from the FSA boundaries, or import areas and add them, select them as sensitive areas and attribute them. To do that, let's say this area here is a sensitive area that you want to mark. Just right here, just go in and select it. This 2.12 acres we're looking at. Come over to sensitive area form. If it's not listed in your forms, again, go to favorites, find in, check it on. Open it up and you can create your own sensitive area list. So yeah, we'll save that. And now if you have sensitive areas on, those will show up as you're selecting fields. The other is Drift Watch. Drift Watch is available only in certain states. In the states you are, that have it. If you're in the state that has it, you are probably very familiar with it. You need to subscribe to Drift Watch on their site, and then you can access the Drift Watch features on our site. So you can turn those on, and if they appear in the area or next to a field that you have selected for application, they would show up, and you can then also see those on your FSA maps. Let's move on to some of the forms. Most of you probably use either Aerial or Aerial with GPA as your main application form. You may use the invoice possibly. But let's look at the forms now. One thing to mention before we get started, under your options page, as you see, there's printing options. There's two options. One is build maps to a PDF. The other is print maps from a web page. So depending on what you have checked is how your forms are created. Now, if I have build maps to PDF, oh, excuse me, I didn't save it. If I select field, and I hit, for example, FSA map, it's going to create a PDF of that map right away. Sometimes that might work, depending on your settings in your programs, but that's what you'll see. And you can print it, of course. Another way, though, and I kind of recommend this for people, is that you leave it on print maps from a web page. And of course, this may be for most of you how you see it, but if you've all seen PDFs created right away, this is web page, and now from here you have map options. You can view it as a PDF, but you can email and print from here. And then in Surety Pro, of course, you can save that form from this area. Let's look at the aerial map and aerial with GPA. So let's select a field here and pull up the aerial with GPA. A few things on that. So if you are using the Surety, there's too many things, but one thing I want to mention is before we're going further is airports. So if you can come in here and you can create airport list. Here You can add more airports. You can have a default. And what that does is if you select that, it will give, once you pick the field, for some reason it didn't allow, maybe it's where my airport's at, it didn't allow heading and distance. I know it's working in Surety Pro. I'm not sure why it wasn't working in Surety here. Okay, well, let's look at Surety Pro also. It should give you your heading distance in miles here. Another thing is you can download your jobs. So if you have your boundary and you want to bring the boundary into the plane, we have a job file for SatLock. You can either download here for SatLock, or if you have the wireless transfer option, you can wirelessly transfer to the plane. If you want more information on this, give us a call. You have to have of course, account at SatLock, and then you'll initiate the tie-in with that SatLock wireless transfer. I believe it's third-party API access. Yeah, and then you'll activate that through this. You'll have to enter those credentials from SatLock. And then once you do, you can move files directly to the SatLock consoles within the planes. You can also export shape files or job files. So if you're using our device and you can get shape files can be used, you can do that here. You can also do job files here. In this case, maybe this would be a case where you maybe have select multiple fields, and you can select that. You can do the wireless transfer here, or just download a zip file with those job files or job file within it. You can also give it a name right here if you need to. And then extract. So they work the same either way. So that's one last thing now before we move on to Surety Pro, and that is working with log layers. You can load a single log layer into Surety. Surety Pro, you can have multiple log layers for individual clients. So let's look at that. So you see over here on your layers list, you have log layers. Right now, they're currently none available. So let's go in and import a log layer. We have two imports. We have under import as applied, we have SatLock log and a track map log. Let's got a SatLock log. Let's go and load that in. So I go and choose my log file. Once I choose, you can select the zoom up to the upload log, which I recommend, and then hit upload. That will load that log file into, sorry, let me clear it out first here. Let's see. Well, anyway, once you've done that, it'll show up here. And for some reason, it wants to work on that. So my Surety program is going to be a little difficult today, but we'll see that in Surety Pro what that looks like. Let me see if I can find it and try that again. No, I think I know where it's at. Let's go there and try it out. It's probably the reason way away from where that field is located. Let's see if we can hunt it down here. Okay, there it is. Okay, let me delete it and reload it. So let's go File, Import as Applied Log. In this case, SatLock log. Choose the log file, open, upload. Okay, it's been processed, and since I had selected and zoomed up below log, you will see it here. So here's a log. If you look here, here's your log layers. So what we have is we have the spray path, which is selected and drawn now. We have the flight path, and we have the spray swath and spray swath with 10%. Now you can change the color of these by just clicking on them, selecting a different color, maybe a line width, fill opacity. You can show pins for those. Save it. Let's go back to our spray path. I just turned it to green so you can see. Oh, maybe it didn't work that way. Did I save it? There we go. So you can change that once you can only have one at a time. So if you import a new one, unless it's the same one, if you import a new log, it will replace this one with that new one. You can zoom to it here. If you need to, you can delete it here. So that's that. We're going to move to Surety Pro. Those that are just Surety users are more than welcome to stay. Surety Pro will start with a few things that are unique to that. First I'll find my location here, and then you can see my clients. Now, first of all, I got sensitive areas, so you can start to see those. You can also turn on, we also got aerial with GPA, so you can see those. Of course, these are saved forms. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at air route. I'm going to zoom in to this area here. Those green ones represent new fields. So one thing you can do with that is you can come into drawing and draw air route. Okay, put your location on. So wherever your location is, that's where it's going to do the routing from. So if you're, and really this is used for if you take your iPad in the plane with you. So you can do your first, so we're going to draw our first route to this field. Okay, and then we're going to draw our route to this field here. And you can continue drawing routes on that. And so it's giving you a length. Let's see, what am I missing here? I'm missing something here. Oh, what am I missing here? I'm missing something, aren't I? Oh, shoot. Well, if you want more information, air route, something's not quite right here on this. If you need more information on the draw air route, so you'll be able to draw your routes, and as you fly from one to the other, it'll change your route. So if you have some use for that, some of you are probably familiar with that, go to our support page under help. Here, type draw air route search. And then probably the first one here. So you draw. So as you turn GPS on, you start drawing. Now you click on all your waypoints. Oh, I didn't double click. End a designated route. Once you have ended the double route, you track your location, and then it'll give you the dialog box. So let's try that again here. Let's go draw. Let's delete this one here. Let's draw the arrow. So I'm coming from this location here. I'm going to first go to this field. in this field. Double click. Now you can see my let me zoom out. See my waypoints. And she's not doing what she's supposed to do. All right. Well, like I said, there might be an issue here. Let's. She's supposed to give you your bearing. Okay. And your miles from the airport or your wherever you've selected as you go through. So it'll continuously update your miles to the waypoint air route box. So, if you want to give that a try, you can. It's a Surety Pro feature. So if you have maybe some use for that, you try it out. If you're having troubles with it, give us a call. We'll see if we can figure out what the issues are. Airports, again, you can enter airports in the forms, and Surety Pro, they will show up. And then log layers, let's look at log layers. Now in Surety Pro, as you add log layers into system, they will start to appear here, and you can add as many log layers as you like. So you may confuse on who they belong to. Well, that's where you would have to pick the field. And then go ahead and let's see. I think it's a. And let's look at the log. As you zoom in and out, the logs will turn off and on depending on the boundaries that you have in the system. So now this would only show up here. If I would zoom away from this field, you can see the log layer disappears. So it'll only show, as you zoom in, your log layers will get less and less and only show those for the field of interest. So your log layers again, you just turn them on by selecting which log you want to see. Again, you can delete them. You can zoom to them here. And you can download this log. So if you've imported it and you lost it, you can now download it, this log again. So next we'll move on to work order management, which is one of the main uses for our Surety Pro. This allows you, what we mean by work order management is you create individual forms for individual clients, such as application forms. You can track them. So as they come in, they may be requested. You can fill them out, and you can select requested on the form, and they'll color code them, and it's a way of tracking them. And we'll just briefly go over that. We have a way of doing that. So let's move out to the location or the company, depending on what you have set there. So you can see there's 4 pins here representing what I have turned on in my aerial GPA. Okay, those 4 pins are set to what we call status. So what's the status? Let's zoom into an area here. Select a field. Okay. And now, first of all, I get a client here. Excuse me. Select a client. Select the field. And now you see the aerial GPA. If you pull up that form, if you notice, if you have it set to draw PDF right away, you will not see this area out here. But as you can see, if you put the web page, you see there's a status. And if you can select this, for either to keep track. Now you can we can change this for you if you want a custom form. But when you do this, okay, so I do a requested, okay, and I can fill out the form. I'll show, we'll talk about quick fill here next, but you fill out the form, save it. Now that I have my aerial GPA layer set and color-coded by status, as I zoom out, you can see now that has become red, and in this case, red represents requested field. Now, how do you set that? You can go to your aerial GPA here, click on the boundary or the layer, and you can see you can change the symbology. And what I did is come down here and you go or color by, and you would pick an attribute. So there's any attribute on the form you can color by. So you can color by acres, you can color by customer, so on and so forth. I've got it set to status, and when I check the little pencil beside it, I can set a color for each status. We have 3 default status: accepted, complete, and requested. So you can add those and color code those there. Now, not only do they show up on the map color coded, if you have that option. Let me zoom to the location here. But you can also see them in the Form Manager. Form Manager in Surety Pro allows you to see all your forms. You can filter those by year. You can filter them by client. You can choose the form that you want to filter by, in this case, Aerial GPA. As you can see, here's my list of forms. Let's zoom out here a little bit. So for this location, I have right now 5 forms. You can see the ones that are requested. You can see crop name, I got field ID. This one here, I don't have a field ID because I have not added the field to the system. That's the one I just created. Now you can delete those by just coming over here, selecting, and hit delete selected. We'll do that now. But let's talk about some of the features of the Form Manager. As you saw, we have the different, you can manage by different areas. If you have a client selected, you can manage by that client. You can manage by year. So as you roll over from year to year, you do not lose your forms. The boundaries roll over, but you can always go back and select a form from a previous year. You can, of course, filter the actual form itself. These columns that you see right here on the Form Manager, this is where you choose them. These here are all available on the form. This you can total if it's a numerical column. You can total the column. You can delete a column here, so you can come in and delete rate, for example, and see it disappears. You can order these however you wish. So if you want to move this one down to here, you can. And when you save it, they'll be changed there. You can add more columns. So you can come in and pick another column and add it to this list. When you're done, you hit save. Things will change here, and so on and so forth. So that's the columns here. You choose those when you have your form. And you can set them for different forms. One thing you can do once you have these forms up, you can order them. So you can, they're all the same date, so we won't use that. But you can order them. Here's one we can order by acres. Declining, ascending. So you can do that right here. You can select individual forms here. So if I selected this one, you can zoom to it on the map. There it is. If I select if I select a form, let's go to a different one here just to show the point. So if I select a form on the map, so if I come here, select, I bring open Form Manager. Now that one is selected here, so you could select multiple forms and you would see those. You can filter, for example, by status. You can add your own filters. So for example, if I want to filter by corn, I added this filter here. You create the filters. You can filter by corn, for example. It just shows only the corn fields. If I filter by status, I can pick a status. I just want requested and show the requested. And this is a case where you could pull up your requested fields, select them here. Let's say if they're similar, let's say they're all the same product, this is where you could build a job. You could select them here. You could then zoom to those results on the map. And you would see those, one up there, one down here. You could then also print these forms. You can delete from here. You can also select all and do multiple work on multiple forms. One other thing you can do here is launch what we call a paradigm and launch our Dossier Studio. So that's Form Manager. Quite a bit you can do with that. And you know, most of you, if you use same forms, you're going to have a long list of forms here, and that's where more of the filters become more and more valuable. Like I said, you can create your own filters. Like a little more information on that, you can look it up on our support page or give us a call. We'll walk you through that. But you could filter by client there. You could filter by product. You could filter by crop and many other things. So let's look at the paradigm. So you've selected these two fields. You want to create maps for those two fields, and you want the forms. You want to create the maps, the FSA map. Maybe you want to create the forms. What we've done is we created what we call Dossier Studio. Let's look at Dossier Studio real quick here. So what is Dossier Studio? Some of you are very familiar with it already. Others, it may be new to you. So let's just come in, get a client here. I'm going to pick a field. Okay, so I have this field here. I'm going to create an FSA map from it. So I go and I create the FSA map. One other thing, we've had some requests. Now you notice the map center is the map center of this page. If you want the map center to be the center of the field, you would need to center the field in the middle of the screen, then create FSA map. We've got a lot of questions on that. Yeah, so when we zoom in into the section only. If you need to center the field, now the map center was in the field. In print page, you need to pan or zoom around the field. But you saw as we created this aerial map, now we say, okay, I want the aerial map for that field. So you can hit Dossier Studio from the form, and it opens up Dossier Studio. What Dossier Studio allows you to gather different maps and forms together to create a single PDF that you can print out for example, for a job. Let's see, so you leave the dossier open as you're working with it. Always remember, leave the dossier open. let's go back and say, okay, now for this field, I have a form there. So I'm going to print that form. Let's see where we're at. Aerial with GPA. Oh, I got to select it again. Okay, let's get the form. Now you wouldn't be creating a new. You could create a new here, but we're going to look at an existing. So it'll give you a list of existing. You pick the one that you want. Here it is. You can add that to Dossier Studio. So let's look at Dossier Studio now here. What do we have? Oops, lost it. There we go. So now I've added the aerial with GPA. As you can see, I have the FSA map now. I have the aerial with GPA. Now you can create a single PDF from that, either to print or put on a tablet. One of the other things you can do from here, we're looking at, I don't know if this is quite working out, but ability to download or transfer your batch job, which means all the boundaries of the forms you selected would go. You can save this to editable PDF. You can save the dossier itself, give it a name, save it. You can pull it up at any time. Currently, you cannot edit a form within Dossier and save it. Maybe in the future we'll be able to do that. So this gives you a way of combining everything together and help on that. You can give an overview map. Oops. You can do an overview map here if you forgot to add one. So I'm going to do FSA map. I'm going to do an overview map. I'm going to go a couple extra miles and insert map. So here's my overview map. There's the field I had selected. So you can gather those things together. Now an easier way to doing this, if you have multiple fields to work on or multiple fields that you need to apply, you can go to your form manager. Again, you could select these on the map itself, but I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make sure everything's cleared out here. I'm going to do aerial with GPS and then requested. Okay, why I'm both? Oh, because I'm going to change the location because I got these fields are in different clients. I'm going to select these. Now, if I go to the paradigm, I can pick Form Manager View and Save Form. Maybe it's just Form Manager View, Save Form, and FSA map. I select that, and it'll automatically add these forms to Dossier. So you can play around with this. There may be other ways of using this that might work better for you. Now you can mark these up too. So if you need to add a symbol to a map, you can. So here's our overview map. Here's the FSA map for field 1 with the aerial application form, FSA aerial application form. Now, currently do not auto-name these. You would have to go and name them. So you could do it field 1, field 2, field 3, for example, in the sequence that you'd probably apply. So you'd have to do that by just clicking in the column and typing a new name, and it'll change the name for you. So if you have more questions, Dossier, take a look at some of the videos that we have available for the Dossier through our support system or on our YouTube channel. We have other videos becoming available on a lot of the features. So that's the form manager, and you can see how you can start to begin a work order management system. So if you have multiple users, your administrator could, as they come in, somebody could enter the request in, fill them out, and any other user could bring up the fields, pull up the maps, go do the job. When they come back, they could fill out the information as completed, and then you can take it from there. So you can do a work order flow that way. Last thing I want to talk about today, and it's a new feature that you might show up if you're starting to renew some of your subscriptions. That's the Subscription Studio. In the past, you had the ability to manage the users. Now we got Subscription Studio, and this is where you manage all your licensing, your purchasing, things with your user info profiles. So you would pick Subscription Studio as a manager, and now you can manage. This is the interface. You manage it there. These are your individual licenses or users. So if you want to change the profile of someone, you can go in, click on it. You can edit that member. So let's say you want to change the users. You could put in new names, new passwords, information like that, and it would change there. You can remove users, but we recommend if you only remove users instead of removing users, you just switch their profiles, things of that nature. You can come in, you can do it in different views. You can add a new team member, add a new license. You can select what license you want here on the bottom. You can add new locations. You can manage locations here. You can look at team member usage. Over here, we have a list of things to do, help features. This is your payments area. You can see your payments. This is your users. This is your cart. So if you purchase anything, this is your shopping cart. You can check out here. You can enter promo codes. You can save. Invoices. This is your company overview. You can add your company. You can ignore the data usage at this point. That's not in order. So if you have a lot of clients, you can also, or a lot of users, you can search your users here. So I wanted to make you aware of the Subscription Studio. So the next time you come in to renew, it's going to take you here. You'll see a little arrow bouncing by your shopping cart, showing your renew price. And this is where you would renew those licenses or add licenses. Again, if you have any questions, give us a call. So with that, that'll be all for today. Again, if you have questions, specific questions, give us a call. Give me a call. I'd help you to walk through these things one-on-one with you, maybe in a little more detail. One last thing before we go today, I just wanted to mention that we'll be rolling out our Imagery data services here in 2017, and those are remote sensing products, tools, and services. If you're a Surety Pro user, you will have, starting around May or June, you'll be able to access the Sentinel data. And the Sentinel data allows you, and that's unlimited, free access for those Surety Pro users. Sentinel data will be taken approximately every 5 days. A new image will be taken of crop fields or fields in the U.S. You'll be able to pull that data up. You'll be able to see what we call RGB or true color images, kind of like the Ortho Photos in the background. You'll also be able to see vegetation indexes such as NDVI and other types of layers. That resolution is what we call 10 meters, so it's not as, you won't be able to see features like you do on your Ortho Photos. And then also we'll be adding other paid services, such as we have be accessing daily imaging, so that every day an image will be taken of a field or attempted. And then we'll also be adding some aerial imaging, and we'll be working with UAV, UAS for data storage. So watch for that over the course of the summer. Again, for those in Surety Pro, you'll be able to use the Sentinel data with no additional costs. With that, I thank you. Sorry for the rough beginning there. Had a audio issue, but again, this will be recorded on our YouTube channel under the webinar playlist. Again, if you have questions, contact me directly or give us a call at Agridata. If you're on Twitter, follow us for the latest information and updates. Newsletters. A newsletter will be going out here in April with more information on Subscription Studio. And also, if you have any specific needs for custom forms, please let us know. If you're in Surety Pro admin, you could try your hand at creating your own custom forms. We have instructions for that. But if you would like a change to a form, or you would like different size maps or things added, please let us know. You can access that through a forms request for those that are admins, or just give us a call to get the ball rolling on that. With that, I thank you for your time and have a good day.